Welcome back, everybody, to sunjournal.com and SJ Varsity. Kevin Mills, Justin Pelletier here to break down some Class C soccer action. We'll start with the boys in Class C. And the last few years around here anyway, the Class C boys conversation has started with St. Dom's, and they've lost a little bit this year, but St. Dom's is still going to be a very strong force in the Mountain Valley Conference this year.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to dominate the conference like they have since they switched conferences. They lost a lot of the key guys that have been parts of that state championship team 2 years ago and last year's team. They're still going to be a strong team. They play a great brand of soccer. They've got a new coach who coached them much of when they were freshmen, so they're familiar with each other. They've got enough core guys back that they're still going to be a pretty competitive club, and they're going to be getting to the playoffs, and who knows what happens after that.
And of course, also in the MVC, and a team that had 10 wins last year is Dirigo. And Dirigo look at this as a chance to probably pounce here in the MVC and possibly get to that top spot.
Dirigo is going to be a strong team. They've got most of their kids back. Cody St. Germain leads that group, and they got the MVC game last year. They had a disappointing playoff loss, losing in the opening round. So they're going to be fired up and motivated, and they've got enough talent that they have high expectations for themselves, and they're going to be in there and one of the top teams in the conference and in Western C.
Now the MVC after that gets really kind of murky. There's a lot of teams that are very, very close in talent to one another. You've got Lisbon in there, you've got Monmouth in there, you've got Mount Abram in there, all 5-win teams last year. You've also got Telstar in there. Where do you see all this shaking down here, Kevin, in the MVC? Because it could go any which way.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great season in the MVC, because I think a lot of those teams are very similar. Mount Abram, Lisbon, Winthrop is going to make a push this year. A lot of those teams are very similar. They have a lot of kids back. They're very excited about what they might be able to do. They have high expectations for themselves. And with a couple teams like Georges Valley not being in the mix anymore, that's going to open up some playoff spots in Western C. So I think a lot of those teams are going to really battle hard against each other, and there's going to be a lot of close games, and Heel Point's going to be hard to come by, and it's going to be a pretty good battle down the stretch for those points.
Mount Abram with 6 ties last year. Something tells me I don't think they're going to get to 6 ties again, but the ties, especially in soccer, make such a big difference. And of course, Monmouth 5 wins and 8 losses versus Mount Abram 5 wins and 4 losses. The ties made the difference between those two teams in particular.
Yeah, Mount Abram is fired up for this year. They're excited. They've gotten to the playoffs and lost early in the last 2 years, so they're really amped up to really do something with this team this year, and Monmouth is making steady progress each year, and they're a team that's on the rise, and they're going to make some noise as well.
And it'll be interesting to see how Lisbon does dropping into Class C as well. That'd be the other team to watch here.
Yeah, they've had some success in Class B, but once they get to the playoffs, they're usually matched up with one of those Western Maine teams, and so I think that's going to be good for them. They've got a couple of all-stars returning in the midfield, and so I think they're going to be a force, especially at playoff time, because they're going to be in the playoff mix. And actually, one team we haven't mentioned yet is Telstar, because they're actually an anomaly, compared to the other teams, because they actually lost more where most of the other teams have a lot of their teams back. But so they're a little bit younger than those squads. The cupboard isn't bare by any means. They're not going to be as strong as they were a year ago. They're going to be a competitive team, and it'll be interesting to see how they can grow, and they're going to learn and get some good seasoning this year, the way the rest of the league is.
Thank you, Kevin. Kevin Mills, Justin Pelletier here at sunjournal.com for SJ Varsity. Follow us all season long for the best in soccer coverage.